Good morning, everyone. Yeah, and in continuation of our Lifeway series, this morning we're going to be talking about a very, very interesting concept, which is 4 disciplines of execution. 4 disciplines of execution. This is an idea of a strategist that is called Franklin Covey. And I just want to share it with us this morning. I'm sure we are all aware of the fact that at the beginning of the year, we are all used to people setting goals, having New Year resolutions, making determinations about what they want to achieve. Organizations also set goals, and so on and so forth. This is the 4th month in the year right now. The question is, those things that we say we will do, are we doing them? If you check, maybe as individuals or as a group or as organizations, you find out that a lot of the time we're already deviating. And nobody is also checking to know whether we are on course or we are not on course. So what you find out at the end of the day is that we will wait until December, then we will see the results, and we'll begin to wonder how we found ourselves in that situation. So one of the difficult things to do a lot of the time is execution. Execution. It's easy to talk about good plans. It's easy to think, come together, say this is what we are going to do. But the problem is execution. And like Franklin Covey said, he said that every year organizations spend at least over $3 billion putting together strategies. Over $3 billion. I'm sure some of us have been part of maybe a strategy session in our place of work and all of that. And we know the amount of investment that goes into that. And he says at the end of the day, 80% of those strategies don't see the light of day. Then what is the problem? Is it that the strategy is bad? Is it that the desire or the goal is not a good thing to have? But a lot of the time, it is the power of execution, the discipline of execution that brings that thing to happen. I know a couple of times here, Reverend has given us or set some goals for us and said, oh, this year we want to have 100 more members, or maybe 200, or as the case may be. And at the beginning of the year, when we hear such things, we are very excited about it, and everybody, oh, yeah. And we talk about how we want to get it done and all of that. But at the end of the day, you find out that December comes, and when we have to count the number of people we have added, we have not even scratched the surface. Maybe out of 100, we've only done 10. So what was wrong with it in the first place? Was it a bad idea? It wasn't a bad idea, but the discipline of execution. Execution comes with a lot of discipline. It comes with being deliberate about what you want to do. And that's why I like the game of football. It comes with a lot of discipline. For instance, now, if you are a fan of the league in England, you see how people are chasing or running to achieve the top 4. And every year, there is a fight for it. Some people have learned that discipline of consistently remaining there, while some people keep disappointing year in, year out, and they're nowhere to be found, and giving their fans heartbreaks. So there's a discipline that comes in order for you to be able to do or achieve what you say you were going to achieve. So, and according to Franklin Covey, the first thing you need to do is you must focus on the wildly important goal. So let me give you an example of what that means. You know, in a year, for instance, you can say, this year, I want to buy a car. This year, I want to move into a new apartment. Abi? They are good goals, are they not? But do you realize that if you don't either increase your income or get a better job that will give you better pay, all those other things are likely never going to happen? Yes or no? So if you have to buy a new car this year and you have to move apartment this year, should you focus all your energy scouting around the over of Lagos looking for apartment, or going from one car mart to the other and pricing the cars? Say, I just want to have an idea. While the main thing that will bring money into your pocket, that will get those things done, you leave it undone. Maybe you are a business person. When you're supposed to go to your shop, you don't go, you sleep. Maybe you are a worker in your office. When you're supposed to do your job, you're not doing it. And you're always saying, this year I must buy a car. This year I must get a new apartment. Those other things are good goals to have. But the widely important goal here that will help you to achieve those other goals is getting more money at the end of the day. So a lot of the times we have several things muddled up together, and we're chasing several things at the same time. But the most important thing, we're not really putting energy into it, and we're not putting a lot of pressure in moving it. Then at the end of the year, you find out that you are back to where you were the previous year. Then you complain. So it says, narrow your focus. I remember one of my directors will say, when you focus on your focus, you will soon become the focus. Do you understand? When you focus on your focus, you will soon become the focus. Yesterday, we were all celebrating a gentleman who made us proud, Tunde Onokoya. But the gentleman focused on his focus. But now, all eyes on him. He has become what? The focus. So, but all the while he was doing all the training, doing everything, learning, developing himself, nobody heard about him. So you think he just woke up one day and said, I want to break Guinness Book of Record. And you think he just did it like that. It doesn't happen that way. So you also need to identify what must be done. Apart from every other thing, what must be done? There's something that must be done that will give you the kind of breakthrough that you need, the kind of success that you're looking for. Otherwise, you will just be chasing shadows at the end of the day. So you also need to identify where you are now and where you would want to be. So if you say, for instance, I want to buy a car this year, you know the prices of cars have gone up already because of exchanges and all of that. So maybe if you were planning to buy a car, you've been muting the idea to buy a car, say for instance, maybe Corolla, and last year maybe it was about between 5 million naira, and now maybe you go to any car mart, they tell you the least you can get maybe for a particular brand, let's assume they say it is 7 million naira. You know you have to double your hustle. So you need to know, where are you right now? Where do I need to get to in order for me to be able to afford that car? You must put in that discipline. The second discipline of execution is act on the lead measures. Act on the lead measures. So there are two, when we talk about lead measures, I'm going to explain them. There is what they call the lag measure, L-A-G. And there's what they call the lead measure, L-E-A-D measure. So it's saying don't act on the lag, but act on the lead. So let me explain what a lead or a lag measure is. Let's assume your goal is you want to be a fit person this year. You want to do, what do you call it now? Fit farm, Abi? That's your goal this year. I want to do something about my weight or my health or whatever. Do you know that if you don't do anything about it, by December, if you check your weight again, you find out that perhaps you have not even moved an inch? By December, the body will tell you the exact weight you are. The body will tell you the exact things that is happening to you. That is your lag measures. You only see it at the end of the day. It's just like when you say revenue. It's not at the end of when organizations talk about revenue, at the end of the financial year, they will now say, oh, this is revenue. Our revenue didn't grow. There's nothing you can do about it at that time. Or profits. If you wait till the end of the year, you will get profit. It's just that the profit can either be negative or positive. But whatever you see at the end of the year is what you have seen. There is nothing you can do about it at that point in time. But there is a lead measure that you can do something about that can change the outcome of your profit or the outcome of your revenue or the outcome of your body weight loss you want to do. And the lead measure, for example, is for somebody who wants to do a weight loss. Your lead measure will be, what you should be focusing on is not what you will turn out to be at the end of the year. Should be, how many calories should I reduce? So for instance, the other day I was somewhere and somebody said, give me milky yogurt, milky donut. And the person ate milky donut. He said, this thing is always tempting me. He said, I know that today I'm going to increase my calories. So that person is already knowing what's going to happen. And if the person also wants to check, the person will say, no, I don't want milky donut because it will have impact on my calories. So you are checking those things that's going to contribute to your either weight gain or weight loss at the end of the day. You are monitoring them. So if you say in December we want to have a profit or want to have a revenue of 1 billion naira, and by April you have still not made 200 million naira, you know you are far from it. So you either begin to change your strategy, your sales strategy, and begin to think of something else. Those are your lead measures. You are checking them and you are measuring them. How did we do last week? How was sales last week? Okay, sales is good. It's improving. Because if you don't put an eye on sales, at the end of the year, revenue will just be there waiting for you. And there's nothing you can do about it. So that's what it means by acting on your lead measures. Acting on your lead measures. Number 3, the third discipline of execution is keep a compelling scorecard. Keep a compelling scorecard. Let me share this with you. I'm sure a lot of us will be able to relate. You know, when boys gather, maybe in a street or a neighborhood, and want to play football. Maybe it's a 5-a-side or whatever. And they're playing football. They're just playing. The game may not be interested initially. But when you begin to say, this is scoreboard. Okay, this one has scored 1. That one has scored 0. You know, everybody is looking at the scoreboard. Then there's going to be some ginger. Yes or no? There's going to be some fire inside of you. See, you see, when footballers play football, their eyes is always on the scoreboard. What is the score now? We are 1 down. Then that 1 down triggers a strategy. Imagine that they were just playing ball. They don't know whether, maybe the guy at the back end doesn't even know that they have scored 1 goal. Everybody's just playing, waiting till the end. They will be shocked at the end of the day. Then somebody says, did we score? They say, we scored 3. Hey, why didn't we win? They scored 5. Why? Because you were not checking the scoreboard. You see, scoreboards keeps us enthusiastic and drives that inner thing inside of us for wanting to achieve more. I have scored 1. Let me add 1 more. Do you understand? You know, it's just like if you followed Tunde Onokoya while he was working towards achieving his Guinness World Record. You know they were timing him, and the scoreboard was there. So when he hit 24 hours, there was a celebration. When he hit 48 hours, there was celebration. When he hit the last record that somebody set, there was celebration. You see, if you didn't put that there, it may not help him. So they put it there so that he's seeing it. Okay, I'm just a little close to the last target. I'll put in more effort. Oh, I have hit the last target. Let me put in more effort and at least break it by 2 hours, or 3 hours, or 4 hours, or 5 hours, or 6 hours. So your eyes is on the scoreboard. You are checking the scoreboard from time to time. Where are we? What are we doing? You know, that's why top executives always have what they call a dashboard. It's the same thing. You see, the man wakes up in the morning, sometimes before he comes to the office, he checks the dashboard. And when he checks the dashboard, he sees that sales is dropping. And he notices that sales is actually dropping maybe in the north. And the man is angry inside of him before he left his house. And as he's entering the office, you're greeting him. Good morning, sir. Morning. As he's entering the office, maybe you are the sales director in the north. You understand? You say, follow me, see me in my office. How would you feel? You know, maybe you are 4 in your team. Sales director north, sales director south, sales director west, sales director east. He didn't call any other person. You are the only one he is calling. Then there's problem. Because the man is checking the scoreboard. He's checking the dashboard. And dashboard is telling him there's a problem in the north. But that doesn't also mean that because southwest is doing well or east is doing well, you remove your eyes from it. You are still checking. Because the moment we are dropping by maybe 1 or 2 or whatever, you know that there's something that needs to be done. Then you call the man who is in charge of the north. Come inside the office, and he comes in. Say, what's going on in your region? Sir, this, that. Then they begin to x-ray. So it could be, it might not necessarily mean that people are not working. They say, sir, the challenge is that last week we were unable to access 3 states in the north because of security reasons. Then people begin to say, okay, security is a big issue. This security thing might affect our revenue at the end of the year. Then they begin to re-strategize. What else can we do in spite of security? Do you understand? So your eyes must be on the scoreboard from time to time so that you don't lose sight of what is going on. So a lot of the time we just sit down, we relax, and wait to see great results. It's always good to get great results. Great results don't come without you following up. You know, some of the shocker of most young people when they get into the university or get into higher institution is that they just get in and coast along. It's when the first semester result comes out, they discover that they can't make a first class again. It's too late at that point. Why some students, they just scored 9/10 in a test, and they are going to fight the lecturer. Sir, why did I not get this one? And you are thinking that the guy is a busybody. The guy knows where he's going to. He's checking his scoreboard. And he knows that each 1 mark that drops is dropping him from first class to something else. Some people don't care. Some people wake up when they are in 300 level, and they already see that they are already in pass, and they want to do magic to get to 2-1. It's not possible. That's a lag. It has happened already. So, put an eye on the scoreboard. The last one is create accountability. Create accountability. So let me explain this to you. You see, when people have meetings, usually, maybe in teams, in the office, or maybe even in church, in your cell groups, or in your different units and all of that, meetings is not just for fun, or for fun fair, or for us to just come and gather and lambast people and all of that. That's why sometimes the way we do meetings in this part of the world can be very funny. Meetings are serious business. It's a serious business matter. You must have the purpose of that meeting, what you want to address there. So sometimes it's not all meetings that must last for 1 hour, 2 hours. You can address certain things in 20 minutes or 40 minutes. Because when you spend 4 hours in a meeting in a day, where is the time to now do the execution itself? Do you understand? So, you need to, because you have done 1, 2, 3, we know where the fault is. We know where we are making a loss or whatever, where we are not doing well. We call for a meeting. And when we call for a meeting, you're asking Mr. A, Mr. A, you promised us last week. So meetings, for instance, gives you an opportunity for everyone to come and say how far they have gone. How did you do last week? Oh, okay, this is what we did, this is what we did, this is what we did. Then why didn't you achieve what you said you were going to do last week? you know our work is dependent on IT. We finished our own work. We sent to IT. IT has not responded to us. Then you can face IT and say, IT, why have you not responded to them? But maybe IT will tell you, you see, by so doing, you are getting to know the root cause of the problem. Then you can get commitments from people and say, okay, IT, with this now, don't worry. Sometimes when you talk in meetings, you will hear bosses will say, okay, I'll take care of that. Then they will now ask you, okay, IT, now that is taken care of, when are you going to get this done? Then you say, don't worry, you'll get it by tomorrow. You see, when you create a sense of accountability amongst people, where we are answerable to one another, you see a sense of, let me go back to the game of football again. You know how those guys play? As you are bringing the ball, send it to this guy. There is a sense of accountability. Do you understand? And the guy knows that, if I try to score from here, I may not get it right. I will pass it to this next guy. And if I pass it to him, he will get the goal for us. So you don't see it you don't see it as if we are competing against one another. What you're seeing is that I need to support this person. So it's not until the boss up there is shouting down on everybody. But you're seeing that if I do this, it will help this person to achieve. And if this person achieves, every one of us is going to achieve. Maybe the guys in FCT, they have newcomers, and they say, please help us follow up the newcomers. And you don't think that it is anything for you to do. Then at the end of the year, they say, we didn't meet our target. You are also responsible. It's not an FCT matter. But if I see that helping FCT to do their job, or to do the bit that concerns me, will help us to get the desired result, then everybody will be fine. Are we together? So execution is a difficult thing to do. Let's be frank with ourselves. It's a difficult thing to do. See, that's why they say sometimes when people are reviewing football games, they'll say, enter the field first. You see, some people can finish a football match by talking. Have you? But put them on the pitch. Then you realize that it's not easy. Execution is difficult. Back in there, look at the ball there. Get on pitch and see whether you can do what he is doing. Execution is tough. But with these disciplines, focusing on the widely important goal, acting on the lead measures, keeping an eye on the scorecard, and creating a sense of responsibility amongst everyone, you would discover that you will make progress, you will move the needle, and you'll be on your track to achieving success. And at the end of the day, you'll be excited about what the result you will see. So stop focusing too much on several activities that will not lead you anywhere. We do a lot of that. You do activities at the end of the year. That's why sometimes you are angry with your boss. You see, I've done this, and done this. But in the eyes of the boss, all this you've done has not impacted, has not added to the value that we want to see. That's why a lot of people have issues with their bosses. Because the boss is more about, okay, if you say you have done all of these things, sales has not still increased, what's my business with that? Then you are angry. You shouldn't be angry. Because if sales doesn't increase, revenue doesn't increase, all the activities you have done is just zero. Praise the Lord. I hope with these few points of mine, I've been able to convince you and not confuse you that you need these 4 disciplines of execution in order for you to get good results this year. God bless you in Jesus' name.